up with something.
Right. Gots to. Okay, listen, it's doing what it needs to do. We gonna go on YouTube now instead of Facebook. I don't know what's happening, but we'll figure that out at another date. But let's let loose. Let's just let loose real quick.
All right, you want to go first?
Yes, I'll go first because I have a vent. But I would say this is like left field for me, but this is my song that I've been listening to like well, I haven't I shouldn't say I've been listening to it because it's not like I'd be riding my car listening to it, but for the last day of school, like we just had like I was over the karaoke for my students, and so it was like a rotation of like four. It was like 4 different rotations in and out, and every grade that came in wanted to hear this one song. So it's literally just been stuck in my head since last Wednesday. It's the Wham Whammy song. You ever heard of that? The Wham Whammy.
Have I heard? I feel like I have heard it.
You had to have heard it. It's like I just know the Wham Whammy part, and when the girl be like, I'm talking about in it, like it's a little dance to go with it. Girl, that's just been stuck in my head, but it brings me some joy.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It brings me some joy because I'd be like, oh, I'm talking about in it, and it's just like a little connection that we have with the little students. So that's been something that's been giving me a little joy, little hee hee ha ha moment. But I will also say now for my vent that the whole thing with Facebook just now is pissing me off. But unrelated to that, I've been finding myself like my email inbox is it's like full of things that I never subscribed to. Like, I'll get an email from this corporation or this person or this person, this person. I'm like, I have never subscribed to anything, any newsletter, any mail chain. Like, why are you emailing me? So like I find myself in the last 2 weeks going through my emails, unsubscribing to things and making sure that I never subscribe to this. Like it's so annoying to me that I have to go through all that junk. And I'm like, an easy option would be to just close that email account, but then I would have to go through all my other things and, reroute my stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. So it's either that or this. So that's been something that's been annoying me as of late. And, the whole data thing, it's just like people just got our stuff. And it's just like, ugh. Once you put your email on something, it's just you got to expect to get spammed from other people. But that's where I'm at. I think I was under 2 minutes. But
yeah, well, you are under 2 minutes. You're great. I'm up here for my song. Honestly, I haven't had anything that like really truly stands out. The one thing I think I've had stuck in my head just because what we've been going through like the last couple days just in the world is he's an on-time God. Yes, he is, because I know everything's supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. But I think that's really the one song that's been stuck in my head. Outside of that, I've had a lot of throwbacks. With like some good old Sierra, someone step. My goodies was also like stuck in my head too, because we randomly ended up playing like a hypey playlist or get hypey and on Apple, and it had like all of the good old 2000s songs. Like Akon also was randomly in there, which didn't really fit the category, but it just took me down like this whole entire list. And I think going to event just in general, like aging, as we are also going to just like talk about in general, when it comes to just being the adults, like just being the adults, like that really is my vent. Like just having to be the adult with figuring out like home ownership stuff, like rent. I hate bugs during the summertime.
Girl, yes.
Despise. Recently, I have been seeing a lot more. People say like bugs try to get into the house because of the heat, like, the heat outside. I don't have time for that. So I went on a peppermint water essential oil, like going around the house scrubbing. And I was like, who am I? I genuinely feel like I'm crazy, but I'm at that age where I'm in my space. I want to feel comfortable in my space. And I feel like we need to really lean into the fact that this is our age group now. And we can't run from it, because I feel like I've been low-key kind of running from it. And I'm like, no, like
we have to own it.
We really are at that age where we will watch our parents do stuff and be like, why are you doing that? Like, but now I get the random songs that you're singing or the random things that you'll just be doing around the house to bring you peace. So not really that much of an event, but just like a realization of being like, okay, this is the stage of where I'm at right now.
And that's time. Look at you.
Right on
Too many,
time.
but right on time. No, I definitely feel you on that. The whole bug thing. I'm like, I've been going around like even today. I found a little dust and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like dusting everything because I'm like, Lord, I don't want to have to deal with no bugs anytime soon. And even like, so I live in the inner city, you know this, but like, girl, outside and having to deal with other people, it's just a mess. Like I was telling my parents yesterday, they came over, then I was like, my neighbor got roaches, like all in her yard, and I'm just like outside spraying almost nightly to like protect my house.
Yeah.
Like, we're attached, so it's like, oh my god, like this is not going to be fun. But
That's
I
the
guess
thing
that
you
comes
have
with
to
home
do.
ownership. Definitely living in the city, definitely living in a row home. So it's just like,
Yes, that's the home
here we go.
ownership of things. And the random things that excite you. We went to one of our friends' house yesterday and we did not believe it was their house because they put an enclosure around their front door. And we were like, this ain't their front door. But we were admiring it so much, like, who did this? How much did it cost? Like, oh my gosh, we need to know.
Girl, yes.
Like,
Yeah.
why are we at that age? Like, this is the first conversation coming into the house. Like, how long did this end up taking? Oh, you got all the materials yourself? Like, wow, this is us.
Hilarious. But okay, let me check the chat. So Ray Nicole said, "Put some Lululemon on this." Yes, that's a part of the song. Win
Yes.
Winnie. Hello to everyone joining us. We're letting loose. So let us know if you have any let loose songs, quotes, scripture, anything that's been giving you some joy or helping you through the
Yes.
last week or
Any
two.
books? It could be any books as well that you all are reading. This is a great time to give out
Yes.
some suggestions as people are looking for summer reads.
Because we're going to transition now into our topic this evening of aging, being millennials and aging. I think we already talked on it a little bit, but specifically for like body changes. So recently I was having a conversation with my oldest sister about aging. And I felt so like seen and just relieved as well because this conversation was happening because it hasn't been happening. Like I mean, me and my friends, we talk about it here and there, but I mean, like from someone of an elder position, I would say, like auntie, uncles and mothers and grandmothers. Like we talked about the things that you can see, right? Like the hot flashes and that the hair loss, weight gain, that kind of stuff. But when it comes down to the things that I'm experiencing, I was like, girl, I need some pointers and some advice. Help me. And she was. And so I'm not ready, or let me say I was not ready, because since then I have been going down a rabbit hole, girl.
Mm-hmm.
I was not ready. So I'm happy that when I shared this topic with you, you were like, oh yeah, girl, because it's happening, So here we are we're the millennials. I guess we're like on the elder side of millennials. Well, not really, because I think the oldest
we're in the
millennial is
middle.
40. We're in the middle. Yeah, we're in the middle. Because like they were 40, right? The oldest elder, I would say. Yeah. So my sister is 40. I don't think she would mind me saying that. So she's 40, and she's like, girl, all the stuff I was telling her about, she was like, yep, and this and this and this you need to see. And I was just like, thank you, because mommy had only told me about the hot flashes, gaining the weight, the not holding your bladder, because the older you get, it gets weaker. Like I knew about that. But y'all, when I say I'm graying everywhere, hear me when I say, read between the lines, everywhere. And I was not ready. I said, baby, I'm not that old. Stop. But yeah, so we're talking about body changes and being millennials and figuring it out in real time. Like, what do I have to do? Like, what? Because
we figuring it all out. Like, I mean, I know Lauren and I have talked about this before, just like off of take up space. But no, the changes are definitely happening a lot more. And like having to go to the doctor, and before it would just be, oh, it's like a routine thing. Now I actually got questions. Now I might need you to send me to somebody else like going to a dermatologist, realizing like, you know, what our parents' genes that might be actually like passing down to us now, and we're in that age group where it's actually happening. Like, so for me, my dad and my mom actually, but definitely on my dad's side, like he has a lot of moles, and I am really starting to see it happen a lot more. And people, I didn't realize how much moles are actually like hormonal related, and I'm just like, why didn't no one
Like on his
tell?
face? Get that?
So
Yeah, on
he
his face.
has some on his face, but a lot around neck, back, arm, and I'm starting to see a lot like come up on my actual like neck now, and I've seen it happen over the last like 2 months, and I'm like, what is happening? Like it just seems like it came like rapidly. Like if you touch it, does it spread? Like I need to know. Like what is the situation? So that definitely has been one of the things that I've noticed completely. And also with just gray hair in general, my dad grayed when he was like in his teens. So I was like, oh, I already know I'm probably going to be graying early, but not really realizing like it could be on like arm hair. Like it is like all just random places. And I'm just like, I wasn't expecting this. So now do I
Not
dye
at
my
all.
hair, or do I embrace the fact that I have grays? Because I do want to put out there, I would love to be a natural hair baddie with like gray hair, having the
Oh,
fro completely, but I'm not there yet. So y'all still gonna get this color.
yeah. No, I said that too. Like if because I see my dad started graying when he was 30. So I'm like, okay, if I gray like your type of gray hair, like the texture, the silkiness of it, like
Right.
that nice, pure white, silver type of gray,
Yeah.
yes, I will embrace it. I now this is no shade to anybody whose mama may be or you may be, but that like tannish brown gray, if that's if that's how my hair starts to gray, baby, I'm definitely coloring it. Because my mama be coloring her hair all the time. Okay, she a blonde, and she said I'm gonna be a blonde till I die. I said, okay, mom. But my dad, he's embracing his blonde, his
His
gray hair,
grays,
and
yes.
I was like, I want to be that way too.
Yeah.
But so I was doing some research, and it was this. I'm gonna actually put it up. It was this. I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it.
This webinar going on about like premenopause and menopause symptoms, and I'm just
Yeah.
like looking through it like, okay, well, which ones do I have? But let me tell you, the most
Start
annoying
checking.
one of them all for me is the itchy skin. Like
Ugh.
no one has ever told me that as you get older, your skin. Now I know skin changes, you lose a
Yeah.
little elasticity and your collagen, decreases.
Yeah.
But the itchy skin, when I tell you, like I don't know if you're not gonna be able to see it, but like little patches are starting to come up. And at first I thought I was like, okay, these are heat rashes because I first noticed it last summer. I was like, oh, I got heat rashes. And then winter came and it was the same thing, itchy. And then it feels more bumpy, like that bumpy skin. So I went and got me some I can't think of the name, but the chemicals, I can't even think right now. But the ceramides, I think, or ceramides, for skin, for like the bumpy skin, putting that on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nothing's happening. So I asked my sister, I was like, so who is your dermatologist? Like I literally just asked her this maybe 2 months ago. She told me who the person was. I reached out to them this week and they were like, oh, baby, we're booked until, get this, May 2026. I said, no way. I said, I don't believe that. But then when I talked to my sister on Friday, she was like, oh no, they're really good. And everybody's going to them because they're experiencing like their skin changing as they get old, rashes and this. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not ready. So this list helped me. And this is not an exhaustive list by any means.
Right.
But thinking of like menopause and knowing what I didn't know and what I now know, I'm like, no one ever told me about premenopause. Did you know about premenopause growing up?
I've heard about it, but no, it wasn't like in a specific detail of like, what it is. I have heard the term before, but that list is real. I'm sitting here, what I just see, achy joints.
Oh yeah, let me put it back up.
Something that like the joint pain definitely is something. Brain fog. Okay, I will completely say I have always been like, my memory is top tier. Like I can remember things.
Yeah.
But I'm really starting like short term, like what did I just do? Like what did that's starting to happen a lot more. And I'm like,
for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Joint pain for me too. I'm like,
night sweats.
Oh, Don't get me
absolutely.
started on the night sweats. Like, be burning up.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
like, I'm
these are
not ready.
all,
So yeah. So I listened to the rest of this thing, this Zoom webinar, and they were like that Black women historically start menopause earlier than our, other counterparts. And that, obviously we know racism plays a part, stress plays a part. And so I'm like, oh my
yes.
gosh, like what should we be doing? So these were some of the suggestions that they made of like starting a
Mhm.
lifestyle change in your 30s. And I'm like, okay, this is the time we should be doing this stuff. So I was happy to see like acupuncture is on there because I've been meaning to try that and my insurance is about to cover that next month.
Ooh, that's
Hallelujah.
good.
So yeah, I want to start doing that. But then I also thought about like eating, and I'm like, I need
Yeah.
help with this. And so one thing that they made sure to say is like, make sure you have a team of people who help you with these like practices. So I was like, okay, I also need to start utilizing my insurance more so I can get a dietitian or a nutritionist. I'm like, I'm going to start doing that because I need the help. I need to recognize that I'm not going to get to where I need to be, like physically,
Mm-hmm.
if without someone who has that knowledge that I just don't have. And so like
Yeah.
I'm looking into a nutritionist and a dietitian, and like acupuncture is like some of my, wellness practices as well. But I thought this was pretty cool.
These are
You
good.
know, yeah. And then
Yeah.
like line dancing. I'm like, okay, like I feel like we're really old, but anyway.
But it helps moving. Like I understand, like I know my aunt loves going to line dancing classes. And it's like I get
Hmm.
it. Like that, even going to the pool and like them doing like water aerobics and all, I understand. I think the key is we just have to continue to move as much as
We
possible.
do.
Really like we can't wait till things get to a certain point where it's too late. And as we sit here and talk about, life is short, there's so much things happening. Like we really do have to value our own bodies. And I know
Hmm.
for me, one of the things that I've been struggling with recently, honestly, has been a vitamin D deficiency. And
Hmm.
I know a lot of people have a vitamin D deficiency, right? So it's like, oh, it's nothing. Like you changed up your diet
Downplay it.
really does impact it. But I can say because it as I said, I've been having like joint issues. So if you are vitamin D deficient to a point, it can mess with your bone tissue. So like if you're working out, like your knees and different things can end up hurting a little bit more just because of your lack of vitamin D. So I have now that I'm on summer break, I'm like I am taking
Hmm.
my pills and I can't take them every day because of the dosage that it's on. But I'm like spreading it out and I'm purposely going outside and soaking up 5 to 10 minutes of sunlight. Because during the
I
school
love
year, and
that.
especially for teachers, like we get like we are stuck where we are. Like we are not
Hmm.
trying to move or go extra. And my classroom is actually in the basement area and I don't have windows.
You
So
have no
like
windows?
I mean, I have windows, but not like windows where I can like, ooh, let me look outside or put like flowers right
Hmm.
there.
You got them like
Like,
little slither.
yeah, but it's at the top of the ceiling. Like, I'm not about to go see that.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
can go upstairs, and majority of the time I'm going upstairs. I'm going to the bathroom, or I'm going to heat up my food, or I'm going to go see somebody. I'm not purposely going outside unless I'm walking to my car, and that's like a quick minute. I'm in the garage, so I'm really trying to be intentional. So the past couple days I've been sitting outside, even in this heat. I was like, let me go out and just get the vitamin D from the sun because it's really is supposed to soak in your body a lot more and last longer than it would with the pills. But as to your point, diet is really a large part too. So when I got my
Hmm.
sensitivity to shellfish, I kind of seafood actually has a lot of vitamin D in it. So when I like alleviated it, it really did switch my diet, which I think is when I ended up becoming vitamin D deficient. But have to fill it in other ways. So
Yeah.
trying to pour into me eating properly and making sure again I'm just out in the sun. So the
Yeah.
things
This
we
is
learn.
the time. Right. The things you learn by just living and like experiencing what life is when you start to age. When I tell you joints popping and locking, I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I'm
doing the
not
things that
ready.
you are accustomed to do. Lauren and I both play softball. Like you run like that is what you
Mhm.
grow up running. I think I ran for like the first time like full sprint, right? Maybe like 2 weeks ago around, and I was like, why do I feel like I'm dying? Like I should not
No.
feel like this. And but it
Yeah.
felt good to get back to it because honestly, I feel like the competitive nature came back to me and was like, okay, I need to be able to do this more often. Like, and it's terrible in the back of my head. I was like, if somebody's chasing me because for something, I need to be able to run. Like I can't stop. Like if I'm in danger, like
Right.
I have to actually go. And I was like, I really do need to get back in shape in that manner. But your body adjusts differently. So after I did that, I had to go like ice my knees. I had to go like, your body is not accustomed to it if you don't do it on a regular basis. And
Mm-hmm.
dancing, doing workouts that are in the house are very different from you running on concrete and like running on a sidewalk. So just like understanding that. But I'm learning. We learning. My husband
We
definitely
learned
holds
that.
me accountable because he be out here putting me to shame with everything from eating to working out. So I'm like, I gotta keep up with him.
Right. Keep me alive. He'll be accountable.
I know.
Yeah. Even down to like our shoes, we got to figure out the right shoes. Like
Mhm.
I know for a fact now, I can't wear just like
Facts.
flat sandals or flat shoes. Like it has to have some type of arch or like set platform. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, here
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah. And
Like
that goes to
here.
heels. Literally, as I have all these lovely heels up here, right? Half of those like are not they're not going to treat my foot the same as they did before. Like I have to be
Mm-mm.
very honest. So yes, I do utilize them, but I will have my flats ready to go because I
Now
can't
one thing.
unless it has a platform, I can last in a platform for a really long time. But not just like a good old regular stiletto. Like I love them, but
Mhm.
they're not actually really good for your feet.
Right. Listen, I'm not the days of 6-inch heels for me are over. I'm gonna do me a nice little 4.5, and I may even do a little kitten, not like a super kitten heel, but like one of those fashionable, trendy
Yeah,
ones. Yeah, but the 6-inch heel days for me are over,
yeah.
long gone. But I'm gonna put on a heel, but it's gonna have to be comfortable. You know, heels are really nice for my feet for some reason.
Which ones?
Zara, like I love Zara heels.
Zara has really good shoes. Like I mean, I feel like a lot of people sleep on them because they're like, oh, I don't know if
Hmm.
I actually want to get shoes from here. Like they are. I've gotten a few that have been really like staple pieces
Yeah.
in my closet.
Because I'm clever said the list you show has me self-diagnosing myself as perimenopausal.
Right.
Listen, I think we might be. And I already know I am. I've been already self-diagnosed. I've been saying it for the last 3 months. My parents were like, "Oh, girl," I'd be like, "I'm hot, like I'm burning up," and people are laughing at me. Like I think it was in church one day, and I'm like fanning myself profusely, and they're like, "What's wrong?" Like I think I'm going through perimenopausal, and they're like, "Girl, please, like." Did you drink water?
Things
I'm
can
like,
change.
no, I'm so for real. Like, y'all, I'm 30 something years old. Like, I think this is happening to me. And they're
Yeah,
like, you're not even 50 yet, because technically the age of
that's when it's
menopause is
supposed
like
to.
51. But I'm like, if
Mm,
we start 10 years earlier or a few years earlier, then who knows? I might be in it. And
yeah,
it takes a few years for like the full symptoms to show. Like, right. I think the mark of menopause is that you stop obviously having your cycle. But
yeah,
years leading up to that, you experience some things. So I'm like,
absolutely.
Lord,
And our
this
body
is a
changes.
conversation we need to have. Because like I said,
Yeah,
ain't nobody told me that the carpet start to turn gray too. And I'm
turn
like,
different colors. Turn
they're like,
completely different colors.
what? Now
Yeah.
that I still can't get over that. I
Yeah,
still
it
can't.
was. I think it's crazy because everybody always says your body changes every 7 years. And like you
Hmm.
hear that like down to just like things that you like to eat, what you may not want anymore, down to like how your hair might be finer or it might get curlier or your skin might get dry. And I've listen, the DNA and genetically like how we just function is so crazy to me because it can alter based off of what you're eating, where you live, like basically
Hmm.
what your environment is. So if we're not actually paying attention to the environment as the environment continues to change, our bodies are going to rapidly change all the time as well. So
And yeah, even with this, like like the governmental and cultural stress that we're under every day, our bodies are going
yeah.
to change and
And I
having
will
a
also
reaction.
note for food as well that we also probably need to start paying more attention just with everything that is happening, especially like with like fruit and produce that how it's getting cleaned, if it's getting cleaned, just due to everybody like pushing things out now. Like we really do need to what we're cooking or eating or purchasing from places because it's not the same care, excuse me, as it was like years ago. And you know something that always, as a food allergy girl, I'm always wondered, how did people survive for years and not have any issues whatsoever?
They
Like
was making, they was farmers.
they could
Majority of the
eat things
population was
naturally,
farmers.
right? And then it's like now we have all of these issues that's happening in our health, that's happening from what we're putting in our hair, like all these different things. And I'm like, the people did it. Like we are the issue. We decided we want to get our mind and intertwine with things that were already perfectly fine. That actually rhymed, but like it's just crazy to think that sometimes we just add more chaos to things that are just it's unnecessary to do, and it ends up affecting us physically, to be very honest. That's the sucky part. And as millennials, as we age, like we have seen so much. We don't, the last thing we want to see is our bodies going through all of this. We have lived through crazy times. We don't want to be experiencing this.
We really have. I think the first experience of like realizing like, oh, things happen that can impact us. Well, for me was the Y2K. I don't know if your parents were like this, but my parents had like bins and bags of like canned foods and water and all this stuff because they thought like as soon as 2000 hit, it was gonna be,
it was a wrap,
ground zero, right? Like so like, and now like 9/11 and what else, the recession, and it's just been so much that we've lived through to now finally when we're adults and now we got to take care of ourselves. There's just more layered added layers to what we have to think about and factor in, which sucks. Like
it is truly millennial. We have watched the growth, the birth of the internet. We have watched all of these things happen. And I do still believe that we have the best of both worlds because we are the last people that really know how to write in cursive, that know how to do things.
Write a check,
like
mail a letter.
These kids don't know that. But it is crazy to think that we've experienced all of this. And now we are at a point where we're like, okay, we're excited to be adults. And now this is our adult life is in the middle of this. I was like, if this World War III situation would have actually went down, I mean, which is still high potential of happening, but when everything first started happening, I was like, what more can millennials take right now? Like what more do we actually have to go through as we're figuring things out? We want to be home. We want to be able to live the longest. We're healing. We're actually learning how to have conversations with adults so that we can be better humans. And we're fighting for our rights. We're going to protest. We're educating. We're doing all that we can. And then it's like, here goes something else. Just
here goes something else. Like, let us be great for just once, please.
Hard. And people wonder why we are, once we go to work and we just be like, what we binging? What are we doing to like fuel up? Because we give so much, and I feel like we've gone through a lot of different things that people, our ancestors, grandparents, parents might even be like, I ain't even really lived through nothing. But it's been a lot of emotional trauma, stress that I think people don't realize that we've actually experienced. And it just continues to like add on. And I'm like, again, what more is going to be piled on top? And we're definitely able to get through it. We're sturdy. I think if there's anything,
we're definitely resilient.
Millennials can function in different atmospheres perfectly fine. And that is the reason why we can go from a certain job and go to another job and we don't have no issues. We can restart at any time because
we are definitely the adaptable generation. We can adapt and we're definitely resilient.
Yes, we all of that. So I mean, just in wrapping it up with just the millennial change, I think that it's also a mental part of it too that we're seeing, just not just physically, just being millennials and realizing that we are at this age of being the adults in the room, and that in itself is a lot to sit with sometimes. And I think I had also asked Cam, I was in the car we were leaving somewhere, and I was like, is it crazy or am I crazy for being like, we're now at that age where we're just seeing so many life changes happen with like people losing loved ones in their life, where it's a regular thing now. And we are literally like the adults that are in the room. But also we have, on the other hand, like we have our friends that are having several kids, or you have
Yeah.
people are unable to have kids, and you're watching that journey happen. And how
Mm-hmm.
long do you want to chase after the dream of becoming a parent or becoming a CEO? Like, it's we're seeing it all happen around us, and I'm like, wow, we're really here. Like, this
Yeah.
is
And to add to that, like we also are at the point in life where like our peers are also battling like terminal illnesses or like, really
that's a real
serious
one.
illnesses and diseases. And like, that's also strange, like, hard to watch too. Cause I'm like, yo, we really are the new adults and we really have to like, figure out and make some changes now, right? Like this is the time, like playtime is over. It's time
Yeah,
for us to like really, um get into our bag as far as like our health and our social health as well, like making sure that we're there, like, in community with one another. And I think that's also why millennials are so connected to each other
mm-hmm.
or um really yearn to be connected to each other because we understand the power of that. Like we were outside, we knew what it felt like to be a part of a
Yes,
neighborhood, like, not click, but like go outside and people gonna be outside and you could talk to and have fun
yeah,
with, ride your bikes with, right? And that's something that I think as we get older, we're like, no, we still want that. That's a need of ours as we get older. And so like just being that, making sure that we show up for people in that manner is also crucial. But
yeah,
also eye-opening too, because you like, dang, now we getting sick, right? And our parents, God forbid,
yeah.
are dealing with what they're dealing with and aging as well. So it's like at the end of the day, everybody just aging. Everywhere we look, everybody just getting old and aging.
Everybody's aging, and it's the
Yeah.
reminder, like, this is life. Like,
Yeah.
this is life. And as much as we want to become adults and we want to go to college and we want to live a life and we want to be independent, it's like you get to a point where now you're like, oh wait, like this is the other part of growing up.
Yeah.
And sometimes those we don't have enough of those conversations for what that actually looks like with
Yeah.
what growing up really means, especially today, because today's growing up is very different. I'm
It's very
thankful for
different.
the bit of freedom I would say that we had growing up when it came to like social media and different things, because we were we were techies before we even knew we were techies with a MySpace.
Okay.
Like
Girl, that top
the top 8 was a serious
was a
serious
serious thing.
serious
Don't
thing.
don't make
Okay,
me mad because I go
so
home and
your
we can
top,
delete it.
but all of
Don't
it,
put,
but
oh,
it was a
girl, when I
vibe.
knew how to put the little falling stuff on my profile, it was,
A
ooh.
vibe. A whole entire vibe.
Yes, they would never know. They would never
No,
know.
they won't.
We
They
really are that
definitely.
group now. I'm interested for our viewers. Y'all quiet. What's some things that's resonating with y'all, or like how do you feel yourself experiencing aging as a millennial? Would love to hear from y'all before we move on. But yeah,
Yeah.
that MySpace was a gem.
The fun. Listen, the falling stuff, the stars coming down, like we were switching out our pages
We
every
were.
all the time,
And the
all the time.
music, what?
The music.
Uh,
How about recording ringtones? Like making sure that we were up to date in case anybody called us. Like
mm-hmm.
we had something
Mm-hmm.
for that special person or the person we didn't want to hear from. Like you
Yeah.
had it all. You had it all. Three
Mhm.
way, a good
Oh
old
my
three
God.
way conversation.
Three-way.
Being
And
able to
click
call
me
somebody
in.
back.
You had to be careful on that three-way, girl. I almost got caught up on a lot of three-ways.
Wow.
Like, who else on this phone? Stop playing.
Three ways was a dangerous situation,
It
but
really was.
it was rushing home to watch a 106 in Park or watch
106 in
all
Park.
the music videos coming in, the countdown. Like, yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
it was great. The TV shows that we had, the game shows, like
The game shows.
it was so rich. Like
It
we were,
was. It was just a good, wholesome time. It wasn't
yeah.
all this rah-rah stuff that they got going on nowadays.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll
it
say
was a
I was
little
like I had a
bit.
comment, but I'll wait for it because it's kind of related to our
Okay.
but
All right,
yeah.
y'all. Before we move on, though, anybody else want to just chime in on the topic of like millennials aging and having body changes or going through body changes and all the things? Before we move on to our vibey.
It's like, we got any comments? Desiree. It's such an interesting space to be in getting older, specifically watching family age, understanding how fragile life is while also continuing to chase our
Oh,
dreams. That is
girl.
real
That's
day.
a whole word.
That
And
is
so
very,
relatable.
yeah. It's the
So
continuing to
relatable.
chase our dreams. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
gets a little tough when you're healing. You have all these different changes that are happening, but you still have to be purposeful in your actions, and that process to get back to it is
Mm-hmm.
it can really do a number. And that's also the reason why village is extremely important too, with trying
So
to fight
important.
back. Yeah,
So
because
important.
you can lose yourself as you are trying to chase after your dream. And then it's also sometimes the question, like, is this still your dream, or is it attached to something else that used to be your dream?
Hello, right? Am I doing a update inventory? Like not inventory, but am I updating myself? I'm like, okay, is this still what I'm like truly want
Yeah.
to do, or is this something like you said? Like that's so important. And then Desiree, I think too, like what you said about specifically watching family age, that's definitely relatable to me because I've had this conversation recently with my mom when she was like, "Don't worry about me and your dad." Like, because I think I was talking to her like,
Ooh.
if I possibly wanted to move away, right? And I'm like, I don't know if I would want to do that because y'all are here, and like, as y'all are getting older, I'm cognizant of that. I want to spend a lot of time with you, right? Because who knows what may happen. And my mom was like, "Don't worry about that. We'll be fine." And I'm just like,
Mm.
no, like it's still a factor for me. Like, I don't want you to think that you would not be a factor for me if I did decide to move out of town, like out of state. You know what I mean? Like that is a huge factor because like I see that you're aging. I want to be close
Yeah.
by. Like I don't want to have to, navigate all those like roadblocks or whatever. So
Mm.
that's relatable. Like specifically thinking about being sandwiched between that, right? Like wanting to spend as much time with your family as they're aging and, still chasing your dreams or like making sure that you're not limiting yourself because of that. So I feel you on that, girl.
That's real. Des also just said, Lord, how do I not worry about y'all? Like, because
How?
that is
How?
a very valid point. And for us, like for Cam and I, like one thing that we always said, we were always going to stay in this area. If anyone's like, oh yeah, still trying to move to North Carolina, as long as OG's here, we're here. And now
Mm,
that he has transitioned, it really hit us like, do we still leave? Like that was
mm,
our dream, was to be able to relocate, get a forever home somewhere else, get some more property, or get property that has a bigger value somewhere else. And now I'm kind of in between where we're both like, do we want to leave village? Like, is this actually a good idea to do right now? Just with, I sat
mhm.
here and watched my mom give every second that she had to being a caretaker, and then having to step in and also be a backup as a caretaker. And who would be doing that for her? Like, if
Yeah.
we end up moving away. And I think that is the thought process that goes through. And it sucks because it's like, in a way, you are giving up something that you wanted, but at the same time, as I said earlier, is that an old dream or is that something that's current? And right now,
Mhm.
valuing family and making sure that we are being present, it's more important right now. Like, I think we are
Mhm.
past that point where it would be for us to move away, because we want to be here. We want to be able to have our kids around them and be able
Yeah.
to really create those memories, and know that I don't have to worry about getting a call and I have to drive 6-7 hours to get to you, and the thoughts that
Mhm.
are going to run through my head if I'm not there at that time. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
a heavy one, but a very real real
It's
thing.
very real. It's very real. Thank you, Desiree.
Yeah, appreciate you, sis.
Um, yeah. I forgot to ask, but if y'all have prayer requests, please put them in the chat now. All right, we're gonna move to Vibey because I'm getting a little emotional.
I know the heavy
um,
topics do it to you.
yeah, yeah. All right, we're going to transition. Thank y'all for taking up space with us around this topic of aging as millennials. But in this game, we are going to decide if something that happened in the culture was an act of taking up space or not. So like a play on Would You Rather. All right. First up is the BET 25 years anniversary award show. So the BET award show celebrated 25 years. Did they take up space for the culture or not?
They took up space. Okay. I am completely here for it. It
They
felt
did.
like a throwback BET Awards. Like speaking of being a millennial, like it felt like, oh my gosh, like this is what everybody was tuned into. You were on the couch, you were ready to see who's going to perform. And I think a lot of it really did have to do with the 106 and Park tribute.
Yes, for sure.
Like what is BET without a 106 and Park? And it was great.
Yeah. No. I definitely, I co-sign on that. It was great. I tuned in because of the 106 and Park reunion. Tribute. I even thought it would have been better if Free and AJ were the host of the show, the entire award show.
Yeah.
But I guess we couldn't get AJ. But yeah, it was great. I loved every moment of it. That was the first time in a long time that I've ever watched a BET award show from start to finish. Well, I started a little late because I missed B2K at first, but girl, you know I went and watched that.
Of course, we had to go back and get that.
I had to. So kudos to BET. It was a really good, entertaining show. And they did their good one.
It was fire. Down to the tributes, I will also say the Jamie Foxx tribute.
Yeah.
Listen here. Jennifer almost had me break my TV because, ma'am,
she
is gifted.
She's so gifted. I said, baby, I need more singer Jennifer and less talk show. I mean, talk show good, but baby, your gift is through song. You are a singer.
Standing, like it was effortless, and how
it was just so effortless
out, and she can make me cry at the end. You know, y'all already know how music is for me. Like she opens up her mouth and it's just teary-eyed, ready to have a whole entire fit. She was amazing.
She did so well.
That tribute was beautiful, and I watched the Jamie Foxx special, so like a lot of what he was already saying. The same, but also seeing his baby daughter, like really sitting in that moment, and the oldest daughter and the sister. I mean, all three of them being able to save his life, and him being honored and being here. And I think it's really when he sat up and was like, I could have been watching, my family could have been watching me up there. And it's like, the question of what are you going to do with this life? Like, what are you going to do with this second chance? So it was definitely churchy moments. I had to go back and actually watch Kirk at the replay because I didn't see it.
Yeah, but I don't got to work in the morning.
Yeah, it was long. I was reminded like the BET Awards are really, really long. I also felt very millennial because some of the performers that were modern day, I literally was just looking at the screen like, what is he saying? What is happening here?
I was like,
how did we go from this to this? Like Maya out here performing, to this moment.
Yeah, I didn't understand the word he was saying. Sorry to that man.
Rapping.
I don't know what he was saying. I really don't. I was like, okay, this is where I call it a night. But it was
at that point, I was like, it was very much like, oh yeah, I'm in my 30s because what is this?
And another part that was like, it was a kind of ick for me, but Tyler Perry, my little back and forth with this. When he got on that stage and told that story, I'm saying, sir, ain't no 3-year-old tell you that. Ain't no 3-year-old say that. Why are you sitting up here? Like, great storyteller, but come on, let's be very honest. No 3-year-old told you that walking in the sand. That 3-year-old probably said, pick me up. I'm tired. I'm hot. Something. He did not say, Papa, look at me. I'm following in your footsteps. Like, please be so for real. Please. That part pissed me off.
When he actually came on stage, I was like, Lauren's probably going to walk out the room.
I was like, sir, please. Anyway, moving on.
All right, the K Michelle interview.
So the K Michelle interview, I did not finish that, but she was basically. Did you see this interview?
I didn't see that.
Okay, so she was being interviewed by a country radio station, I believe. You know, she's really been in her country music
Yeah.
bag. And the lady was like, well, how did you get introduced to country? You know, you didn't grow up here. This wasn't a thing. And Kim Michelle had to shut her down, like, baby, yes, I did. Like, I'm country. Like, you do this every time. Like, specifically this woman. She was like, you keep saying this every time you interview me. And I keep telling you, I grew up here. Like, I got into music through a yodeling contest. Like, how more country could I get? So I feel like she really took up space in that moment because she didn't allow that lady to corrupt her story. And she was like, I'm gonna set you straight. And I'm tired of setting you straight, but every time you come in here with some BS and some non-facts, I'm gonna set you straight with the facts. So I was like, yes, K Michelle, you did that. It was like some radio station in, I think, Nashville. Don't get me lying, but she said that lady straight. So I was like, I think that's taking up space.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, K Michelle 100% I would say is country because she's been functioning in the country room for how long.
Decided to.
Yeah, like because I feel like they were trying to put them against each other, but at the end, K Michelle
like,
is she been in it, so you can't ignore it.
Can't ignore
it. All right, the B Simone interview when she was stating how broke she is and that she realized it when shopping in Bloomingdale's that she couldn't shop there and she had to shop at H&M and how heartbreaking that was for her. Taking up space or no?
So, okay, did you watch the whole interview? I mean, the whole podcast?
I did not watch the whole entire podcast.
Okay. So I'm going to give her a little grace. I'm going to say it was taking up space, but asterisk. It was taking up space because she was saying she's realizing or she's recognizing that what did she say? She's recognizing that she's being more conscious or like more mindful of like spending her money because she's putting it towards some type of app. So I don't think she was like downing H&M, but she was just saying like, I can't spend Bloomingdale's money. I need to spend H&M money. So I'm going to say taking up space in the sense that like she owned where she was like financially. And I think that that's important. Now, the rest of the interview, I was like, oh my God, girl, you are so self-centered, my Jesus. But I will say she took up space in that moment because she was just saying like, I noticed that I'm being so particular about or like really, you know, keening into my money and my habits. And so like I needed to, you know, pull back on her spending.
Yeah, no, I did not watch the whole entire interview and I definitely need to go back and watch it. I think it was seeing that portion along with knowing other interviews that she's done previously about like how she's like, no matter where you are, you need to be, you know, on where you at. Like, and then it was like just seeing, again, I'm not saying you cannot be sad for something, but I think it was just like also realizing there are a lot of people that can't even go to H&M. Like that don't even like that don't shop. Like, and so seeing someone say like, I can't shop at Bloomingdale's anymore. Like I have to go to H&M now. Like it was a little like, I understand that might be your feeling, but also be mindful of like how that can come off because there are literally people that can't even be in your situation and they would love to be in your situation. So even looking at like what a lot of people were saying, and it was like, girl, hit me up when you got to choose between if you going to eat or you going to pay for gas. Like what are we doing? And I would say for that instance, because I have not listened to the full thing, I can't truly say, but I am on the verge listening to you. Like I can definitely understand how she was taking up space, but on the other end, like it kind of felt a little insensitive. But at the same time, this is her journey, so we can't sit here and be like you can't feel that way because if that's how she feel, that's how she feel. But it really related back to a question that I had just was talking to with Cam about when people get to a certain status as a celebrity. Do you feel like they are purposely staying where they are to for other people to see them in the same light, comparing to being like, you know what, I have to downsize. Like, and this is going to be okay. So when I saw that comment, and I was just like, this really just spoke to what we were just saying, how if you gonna go to H&M, girl, just go to H&M. Like,
Yeah,
just
I feel
do
that.
it. Like,
Yeah,
just,
you
it's
have
not,
to.
it doesn't have to be a comparison of like, I can't go to Bloomingdale's, like I have to just go to H&M. Like, you have the ability to
Mhm.
do that. And I think we get caught up in this, like, I have an image that I have to uphold and I have to look a certain way. Like, I was at the HBCU entrepreneurship conference, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, like she's a stylist. Like, this outfit's probably expensive, girl. This off of Amazon, child. Like, Amazon. Like, it does not. You don't have to sit here and spend so much money to look good." And I think a lot of us get
Mhm.
wrapped up in the price point compared to how does it present. That's all. That's all we need to
Mhm.
focus on. How does it present?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah.
I feel you on that one. Yeah, she can be very self-centered, which is like I don't watch her. I'm not a supporter, fan, or anything of
Mhm.
hers. But when I saw the back and forth, I'm like, okay, well, let me look at the whole interview to see exactly what was happening. So it was a bit insufferable. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you are. And like she was on there with I guess one of her best friends.
Yeah.
And she just was like, okay, tell me how good of like not tell me how good of a person I am, but tell me what kind of person I am now. Like, am I a good friend? Da-da-da. Like it was just like, girl,
Mm.
go to therapy. Like I don't know. Like, is this just for content or like what? But
Yeah.
it didn't sit well with me. But
And to be fair, she could be going through something and not really knowing
yeah.
how to express it. But
And
you are
she is fasting, or she was fasting. She said
okay.
that by the time it was posted, she would have been done her fast. But could have been a little brain fog. Listen, we all aging. It could be a
We
little
all,
brain
we
fog.
all aging. We all
She
have
might
things that
be.
we said that we might be like, "Ooh, let me take that back real quick." So
Mm-hmm.
we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Any other topics? I think that kind of covered like.
Yeah, I don't really had nothing else. Aaron P. Yeah, that's Mufasa. Anybody have some prayer requests before we get out of here? It's 9 o'clock. Oh my goodness.
I know, on a weekday.
On a weekday. Okay, we might.
Cool.
We'll see. Hearing none, seeing none.
I would say only prayer request is just some good health and
Yes.
peace for leaders right now, for decision
Ooh,
makers,
girl. That part in
for
this
decision
country.
makers, country, schools, organizations, whoever.
Is it your turn to pray?
I believe it's my turn. As I was saying that, I was like, I think it's my turn to pray. So I don't believe we have any prayer requests. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. Did you have any?
Mm-mm.
Alrighty then. Let's bow our heads and close our eyes. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight just saying thank you for allowing us just to make it through this Monday, Lord. We thank you for how you've just watched over us, protected us, and have kept us just getting to this point. We thank you for allowing us just to take up space. Thank you for the community with Lauren and I and the virtual community that we have built, and all of those that continue to pour into us, those we know about and those that we do not know about, Lord. But we just thank you for them. We ask, how do you want us to be better? How do you want us to take up space? How do we continue to manage to be the best versions of ourselves as we learn to get older and embrace the beauty that you have given us each year, with each day, with each hour? We just ask for good health from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet. Continue to cover us and be with our family and all of our loved ones. And we specifically ask that you just grant all leaders, from the president to organization leaders to school leaders to CEOs to bosses, anyone that is just leading anyone, Lord, we just ask for discernment. We ask that you be in the midst of it, and we just ask for peace, and that the decisions are being thoughtful of all that are involved and not just of one particular group. So we just thank you for this day, and just ask as we go throughout the rest of this week until we can join again, that you just watch over us and protect us. And we say this in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. Well, until next time, which will be July 7th, we'll talk to you then. Be blessed. Live
Yeah.
well, be well.